I was a very troubled teenager. There were so many times where I was in and out of the psych wards and in and out of treatment. As long as I had drugs, I had people who wanted to be around me. Like, I couldn't stop. But now I choose to see good and I choose to become good. I think about her a lot because I would love to hug her and tell her that it's okay. And who I am now would have made me feel seen back then. And that's like the most reassuring thing that has come out of my recovery. I'm Alivea Turner. I'm from here, born and raised Hendersonville, North Carolina. And I'm the Director of Operations at Love and Respect Community for Recovery and Wellness. I supervise other peer support specialists. Peer support is all about intentional self-disclosure to build rapport with populations so that we can direct their care. Unlike psychologists or counselors, we do not diagnose. We do not tell people what we think they should do. We give them the tools to make informed decisions for themselves. And I also write grants for Love and Respect. Sometimes it's really fun, sometimes it's not so fun. I like to apply my old skill set that I learned on the streets to what I'm doing now in a positive light. I think something that recovering addicts are good at is acquiring money. I think that I'm equally as good at it now as I was then. So I started presenting with mental health symptoms around 10 or 11, and I picked up my first substance at 11. And I did everything young, so I came out young too. The first time I came out to anyone, they got out of the car and threw up. So I had a harsh self-view because of that. I think I always just felt kind of a hole inside of me. So when I started using, it was, I think, trying to fill that void, trying to forget that trauma. I happen to be ADHD and autistic. A lot of what we struggle with is social cues, social interactions, and then there's like the sensory piece as well. During middle school, high school, there were kids coming up to me, and there was just so much interest surrounding my substance use. I loved that. I loved that people were seeking me out for something. I just wanted to be wanted, and I wanted to be loved, and I wanted to be sought after. And so when I had those substances, I was.
My name is Jason Backus. I'm in Alivea at Waffle House.
I said, do you get high? And he was like, yep. Yeah. And I was like, you want to go get high?
I was like, yeah.
And we got really close eventually, like maybe 2 years after meeting each other, because we were both living on the streets.
Yeah. I've been off and on the streets since I was 17. And I've just recently gotten off the streets since I got out of prison. Drugs, it'll make you do things you wouldn't never thought you would do. It'll change a person. Not for the good either. Sometimes you really just don't care who you hurt or what you do to get what you want.
There's a lot of just like guilt and shame surrounding that. Well, if I let it, I will become every negative experience, every negative thing that's ever been said to me. My dad is like my inner voice in a lot of situations, smartest guy I know. And he always said that whatever you think about the longest becomes the strongest. I have to do a lot of like self-talk and like internal dialogue about remaining who I want to be. It's so important to like healing the wounds that you created in yourself. This one?
Dennis.
And this one?
I don't have a name for it.
This is Rocky, right?
Yeah, Rocky.
It's been healing for me to raise my son. You know, I lived in my car for my pregnancy. It was fine for a little while until it wasn't, and my belly was so big. You know, I always hate to think about how I found out I was pregnant. I was selling substances to a friend You know, I was telling her I didn't feel good recently and I'd been sick, and I took one of her spare pregnancy tests and she ran out saying, "Girl, you're pregnant." So I was 14 weeks pregnant by the time I found out. You know, I was 89 pounds soaking wet. My hair was falling out, and I remember thinking, how is it possible that my body could sustain a pregnancy? Like, prior to that moment, I didn't care if I lived or died. And that sounds really morbid, but it's true. Like, I think I had accepted my fate a long time ago, and I just had accepted that the drugs were going to take me. Like, the moment that I found out that I was pregnant, it was like, you know, like the void that I talked about earlier? It was like I had just found the thing that was gonna fill that. My son is so deserving of a sober and present parent, and since then I've built so much that it's not just him anymore. Like, I'm a whole person. I have a long-term sustained relationship with someone that really loves me, and I have, you know, a job that I really love. I had heard about the sport training. My dad paid for the training, so this was during COVID. So it was all online, which is like not a thing anymore. But I didn't have Wi-Fi where I live. And I went to the NARA every day to log into this training using their Wi-Fi with my kid. And I got the certification, I got approved through the state, and they didn't really know what to do from that point on.
Alivea, she's a force to be reckoned with. Her parents drug her to a recovery meeting, 11 or 12 years old. She didn't stay, but she saw me there. I would see her over the years kind of come and go. And one morning she was working for a cleaning company.
Jersey walked down the stairs and looked at me, and he recognized me from the fellowship.
And I was like, hey.
He said, "You still ripping and running?" And I was like, "No." And he said, "Are you a peer support specialist by chance?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he looked at my boss and he said, "I'm so sorry." And then he looked back at me and he said, "Go home and send me your resume right now." And I looked at my boss, and my boss looked at me and was like, "Go." And so
she came to work.
I'm a believer in repaying your karmic debt. I think that I do this because it fulfills me and I love it. I think that I was brought to this field to repay my karmic debt. There were like a few friends from active use that I kept in mind, and I would always ask other peer supports about you. I'd be like, "You know somebody named Jay Bird?" And he like kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. He was in prison, and that's what that was.
I remember when I was out of prison and I walked up here. It's the first time coming up here. And I'm walking up to the door and I don't even open the door yet. And Olivia's sitting in one of the chairs right by the door and looks up at me. She's like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, I know her. It was amazing to see her actually working here. It showed me a whole new way of life.
Addiction will really take you to the lowest of low. I think that a lot of my feelings surrounding not being welcomed or a part of was because I'm a lesbian, and I think that has turned into me being an extremely empathetic and compassionate person now. And so every time I get a call, like with Nakara, where there's an LGBTQ person who needs assistance, I immediately say yes.
My name's Nakara McMain. I'm from Seattle, Washington originally. Yeah, trauma is all I know. I think I built from trauma. You know, I grew up homeless most of my life, and I did a lot of time in prison. Yeah, Olivia's helped me so much. Now I have my house here in Hendersonville that, an organization, Thrive, helped me obtain, but that I continue to maintain every day through hard work.
I showed up to drop something off, and you were like mowing your lawn, and you were like, I got a lawn to mow.
Yeah, I was so proud.
And you were so excited to
push mower out. I was like, hey.
Yeah, and you were so excited to have that lawn to mow, and I was like, that's a beautiful way to live.
It feels good. It feels good to maintain that, to keep that going, and to protect it. You know what I mean? So it does, and I'm proud of myself for that. Yeah, I think from that day forward, that's when I felt like I found my person in the community, like to help me and feel comfortable with asking for help.
Competition,
That's
it was
cool.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's gonna work out though. Yeah, she's just to see Olivia come as far as she's come, it means a lot to me. It helps me in my head remind myself that, like, yo, if Olivia can do it, I know I can do it, you know. Just seeing someone else that you know in active addiction and see how far they've come and what they're doing now is like, yo, I want to be that person. I want to do that same thing.
When I look back at my addiction, it makes so much sense. There were all these pieces in just the right space for it to happen. And I think it's easy to want to blame other people or blame myself, but it's not productive. Like, I've been through some things that no one should have to go through. It's made me so resilient. And I'm able to kind of transmute all of that energy into something positive now. You know, I love working with individuals and making a real impact, and I see so much power in the grant making. There's just nothing like being told that you can launch a new program, hire 2 new staff members, and like pay for 10 people's rent. It is karmic debt personified, like it is repaying karmic debt. That's unmatched. There's nothing that feels the same, so.